Hey everyone, it's Albie. Welcome back to my channel. I have another fun review for you today. Today I'll be talking about There Arose Such a Clatter and Other Tales from the Naughty List by Nacosta. This was like short story novellas, so at first I kind of thought it was marketed as a really short novel or novella, but it's more so like a little anthology. So it's 5 short, spicy, smutty, Krampus inspired or Krampus tales. They're all very dark. It is more of the erotic nature, so there isn't a lot of plot, but a lot of spice. And it was interesting. I actually ended up giving it 5 stars, which did surprise me because it really wasn't my kink or whatever. Not to like yuck someone's yum, but just wasn't my thing. But I still liked the story. I thought they were all interesting. And it was just something new, it was something different. It was actually pretty Christmassy for the content. I was surprised by that. So in the 5 stories, we do get one of the heroines twice, Dara. She's in the first one and the final one, which I actually really prefer when I'm reading like anthology or short story collections. I do like when we get a like sort of a revisit of characters later on. So it was nice to see Dara and Krampus back together. So she's featured twice. There was one that had like a single parent, and it was, you know, there's not too much plot, but there was a heroine, Juliette. There was also an heroine, Audrey, who was a single mother to a son named Jacob. And, you know, Krampus is a mythological creature, sort of the antithesis or evil Santa Claus, where he goes to punish naughty children. And so sometimes these heroines are either naughty themselves or trying to help their child which has been naughty, or they might enjoy some pain with their pleasure. So it's a little, you know, a little different. This series is definitely not for everyone, but nonetheless, it was just interesting. There were a few moments when I actually was laughing out loud. Like in the first story, there was scenes with very devious and badly behaved elves, and that just sort of made me chuckle to think of like cute little Santa Claus elves, like in the cartoon sense, being very, very devious. So I thought that was quite funny. And then I also got a good bit of chuckling when, in my head, Krampus was more so like more humanoid than what the actual Krampus is. So in the folklore, Krampus is sort of is it a cipher where he's like part goat. And so all I could think about was from Narnia, the Mr. Tomnis sort of thing. So, which is so funny because oh, I can't remember the actor's name, but he was the one from Atonement that really got everyone hot and bothered. And then he was in the M. Night Shyamalan movie where he was like a serial unaliver with Anya Taylor-Joy. And so, yeah, it's so crazy to think that he was Mr. Tomnis at one point as well. So I'll have to put his name in there. I can't think of it. I can see his face clearly, but I just thought that was funny. Just Mr. Tomnis. And then there were scenes where Santa Claus was referred to as being gangster and very malicious, which, you know, if you're an elf working for Santa, I would assume you are working very, very hard hours that are very strenuous. So Santa might not be the funnest, funnest boss. So I thought that was kind of an interesting take on the typical Santa Krampus thing. Like I said, there's not too much to go off of because they are all about 25-page stories. Some are even shorter. But it was fun. You know, if you want a really dark, kinky, like BDSM sort of level, Christmassy romance or Krampusy romances, I think you'll really enjoy them. I got it honestly because it was really short, so I could add like another book to my read pile for the end of the year wrap up. I just want to get my numbers a little higher than last year, and I just thought this would be fun. It would be a good video, and I can sort of bounce this off for other video ideas as well for spicy novellas for Christmas. There was some stuff that made me kind of have suspended disbelief or unsuspended disbelief. That involved food, like candy canes and ginger in specific areas. And I was like, that sounds like a doctor's visit. So sometimes I find myself a little too locked into realism to escape into these more darker, unorthodox fantasies, I guess you could say. But yeah, it was interesting to say the least. So Nacosta, I believe they are really known for their Morning Glory Milking Farm novel, which is a fairly short novel. And that has a Minotaur, I believe, is the hero. And can't really say too much about the story. I haven't read it yet. It is on my TBR, but it's very unique from what I'm told. So Nacosta writes in their biography that they really prefer like beastly heroes to humanoid or human male heroes. So that's interesting. So if you're more of that like Beauty and the Beast vibe, but like Prince Adam doesn't become Prince Adam, he stays the Beast, I think you'll really like this author. I do plan to read more from them as well. I know they have oh, I'm getting them confused with Lillian Lark. I haven't read Lillian Lark, but in my mind, Lillian Lark and Nacosta and even Tiffany Roberts, they all have that sort of for the romance reader of this like dark fantasy fairy tale land, which I think is really cool. I do love fairy tales. I'm really into them. There's a really great YouTuber that I love, Jen Campbell. She does like the histories behind fairy tales, and they're just so fascinating. So she'll look at like Cinderella, and I think there was instances of Cinderella or the Cinderella trope in ancient Egypt. I'm really sure. Like the Pied Piper of Hamelin. That's a really interesting dark fairy tale. The Little Mermaid, of course, my favorite. I have mermaids everywhere. Snow White was another one that she really does. I'll have to link her channel below because I really do love Jen Campbell, especially for these fairy tales. And then Kaz Rowe, who I talked about in my monthly favorites from November, they actually had a really long video on sort of weird or unorthodox Christmas legends and myths. And part of that featured the tale of Krampus. So I will also link their video in my description box below, and I'll have a picture of their channel as well as Jen Campbell's channel as well. So you can sort of click them up and see some fun stuff from them. Well, everyone, I hope I didn't give too many spoils away. It was dark, it was kinky, it was fun, you know, it was short, not so sweet, more naughty, you know, but, you know, sometimes it's good to have a good palate cleanse, you know, what are my tastes, what are my different tastes, etc. Well, everyone, I've rambled too much as usual. Hope you've had a wonderful day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and everything else, and I'll see y'all soon for another video. Bye, everyone.